You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Ari.
And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that airs the week of June the 29th to June the 5th, 2024, starting with Go-Go Loser
July the
Race.
5th, because that
July
would be
the
a
5th.
year of anime, and I'm not
Did I
fucking
say
doing it.
June?
Jeez, not much happened, huh? Wow.
It's July in front of me, and my enthusiasm overwrote what actual words were there. June the 29th to July the 5th, starting with Go-Go Loser Ranger, episode 12, Never Stop Fighter D.
Never not stop rocking.
His great heroic battle against the Blue Dragon Keeper, which turns out to be, well, it's great because we open up with his flashback, because last week we had the Blue Dragon Keeper's flashback of him aged 18, and this is Fighter D, aged 0.
His birth.
Yes.
He's trying to push away the titles because he's embarrassed about the whole situation about suddenly just being born, and the boss monsters are immediately dismissive. It's like, I guess we need some guys. These guys will do, right? So they're brand new guys, and they're like, hey, you guys, you're going to help us fight the humans. You're going to be, the grunts, the ground forces, that kind of thing. And then cut 2 months later where they're all defeated.
All
I was
killed.
like, wow, fucking hell.
Now you work for us. It's just like, Jesus, we didn't even get on board with the last guys, and we're fucking new bosses already coming in, man.
It is funny that how do you pronounce her name? X's. Yeah, she has the hair from the get-go. I was like, I figured that was just from being away for so long that her helmet got like frayed, but it's like, no, she's always had the different look.
Well, they created so many of them, and after a while, it's like you can't have the same outline. You gotta have like some.
Sure.
It's like the one female black agent in Mr. Tonagawa. It's just like, oh yes, like the one comes, just one woman who works at the company. Same black tux, same black suits, same shades. They even put her into the intro when she comes in, but she's different, you know. I got personalities.
Yeah. Oh, there's something deeply suspicious about how they created these guys.
Yeah. I was like, hey, you're brand new. Are you, though? Because you seem to be fully formed as a person and a personality and even, like, body shape and stuff. There's a bunch there in place.
They haven't made, like, soldiers who are all the same, have they?
They all have
got
different
individual
opinions.
Personalities.
Like when the Rangers go like, hey, we killed all your bosses, you work for us now. One of them's like, fuck you guys. And the other one's like, fuck, I don't want to get killed like that guy. And D's like, I don't fucking want to get involved in this situation. I'm just going to fucking stand back. Like, they all have their own opinion from the fucking get-go.
They drive home that D's thing is he's fighting for his dignity.
Yeah. The dignity of a monster, as he says. I was like, I think it's just dignity, bro. It's just, yeah, you're
okay.
trying to be
I think we see the first time that like like we did like the big cat theme one before. Once we gotta change it up this time. Oh, I put some wheels in it from episode 1. It's like, oh, and it's like a motor line. It's different from the one we did before. Here's the one we did before. It's like, this is so fucking embarrassing. You can see like it's like more like mascot suit running around. That's the kind of the level of dignity we're dealing with here.
He's basically wearing the standard fighter thing, but like with a big lion head and some paw type situations on it. It's like they weren't even that good at design back then. It was just like, I'm a lion. I'm gonna get the guys. It's like, no. We gotta attack the audience first. We got a half-hour block to fill. D, come on, fucking get with the program. And he's like, what the fuck is my life? Like immediately, and it's been that for 13 years. So yeah.
Yeah. So then we get the fight. About half the episode is the fight between the Blue Dragon Keeper and Foot Soldier D. And the questions which will appear where the Blue Dragon Keeper saying, this is the power of a god. And then I'm thinking, what sort of god has a mustache like that? Why are you summoning this giant face with this very modern mustache that is producing all these fish?
A god that keeps up with trends? I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
They're omnipotent, or so they say.
Yes.
Like Santa.
And yeah, the tale of this story is essentially that Foot Soldier's he's using his only abilities. He says he shouldn't mock me for using my only ability of disguising myself. It's got to be a fair fight.
dissolving himself, appearing behind the guy, but it's like, I'm going to turn around because I hear you behind me. It's like, I've taken the form of your guy. So you hesitated for a second. It's like, that's fucking bullshit. It's like, no, that's the only thing I can fucking do. And later in the fight, when
You've
he's
got
like,
you've got a lens with a big fucking blue Umi Bozu dude inside of it. Like,
you can shoot
come on.
water lasers. You got exploding tracking fish. You got fucking a big column of water that you can try and drown me in. You got force fields. You got all this fucking bullshit. I can turn my hand into a knife, dissolve, and turn into different people. That's it. Those three things. That's all I can do.
And you still punch me in the face, even with all that.
But he's slowly buying into the romance of the genre that he is being forced to play out before as the grunt. Now he's going to play out as the lead role, and that's why when he thinks he's going to defeat the Blue Dragon Keeper on his own terms, and then Peltrola and X's come in and steal the kill from him.
Yeah.
Yes,
take the kill shot. But like even when he was fighting and he ended up over the body, the unconscious body of the same guy he was in thing. He's like, hey, don't use that guy as a hostage. He's like, I don't need any spectators for me, the best evil guy against you, the best good guy. It's good versus evil. And it's like, it seems like an honorable thing, like not taking a hostage. So it leads up into that where it's like, no, it's just me versus you. Don't want anyone else into it. And obviously, I was like, I'm gonna get the kill shot. I'm gonna get the kill shot. Gets lasered through the neck.
I was like, good job, great teamwork, us. Okay, let's get out of here. It's like there should be ostensibly, this is what you were going for, right? But no, it's just again, you're just wanting to, like, you want to stick it to him, but you gotta stick it to him like fair. You don't gotta stoop like all the way as low and demeaning as they were. We want to do this fucking
again the dignity of it. He wants to win. He wants to win on his own terms. Even though he points out his abilities fucking suck. They're not that varied. They're not as powerful as the god. But even when he's told, us like, this is basically like the power of a god works for me. That's why I know I'm righteous. And Dee's like, holy shit, I'm fighting a god. I must be pretty cool.
You got Bear Flail in spite of all that. He fucking made it this far. He fooled you for this long, and after this, he will continue fooling you. Mostly because you're kind of self-centered psychopaths and you don't know what's going on around you.
Yeah.
I like how he's like trying to encourage the Blue Keeper to regenerate while Peltrola's boasting of his plan with X's.
He's trying to do his end speech, and the Blue Keeper is trying to use his last breath to say his last dying words. He's like, "Come on, man, get the fuck up! This is bullshit. No, come on." He's nearly ruining the moment, but you can see how upset he is by talking over everyone.
Yeah. And then we get the fallout, which is first of all, the Red Keeper's very upset that the Blue Keeper's died because it's going to ruin the flow of their heroic pose.
Our fucking balance is all thrown off. He was
his
like
height,
peak of that pyramid.
It makes it so good, and the new current head of Raid, the top Raid cadet or whatever, is kind of like, yes, sir, totally, sir. Please don't murder me, sir.
Well, we learn why he's a bit nervous.
Let's go murder someone else. Let off some steam
later on. Obviously,
Susan Q is happy with all this. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
she's having a nice.
Better than I thought I did.
She's having a nice brunch with the guy whose face got fucked up with a golf club.
He's just progressively more messed up. He looks like fucking Jaggy at this stage.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "Hey, you seem really happy about this. Are you an enemy of the fucking guys? Are you fucking doing all this shit?" And he's like, "Yeah, but and check it out. I found this fucking cart. Yeah, why didn't you fucking return it and call me in then? Is it because you're keeping it for your own fucking plan? Okay." Let's just both say we have our own evil plans in the background and call it a fucking day. And she's like,
not getting each other's way,
Did you hang on to that artifact? For now, she says under her breath, kind of thing. Just like, I'm getting all those fucking things. That's her plan.
Yes, because everybody's got a plan.
It's almost like this entire organization is rotten from the fucking ground up, or maybe the top up. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's why your kid has put D in his place, because he says we just need to clean it up. Also, Kaguma survived.
Yeah.
How? That's a mystery for next season.
I mean, they do say
his father's lucky fucking Bible in his top pocket.
They say one of the examiner head guys came in and used an artifact to heal him, and was like, we didn't know the big pink guy has a healing artifact that grew back that dude's hand. So I'm just like, yeah. I guess you can recover.
What about an older cadet? Oh no, he's toast. Go like the zip up the body bag just so you can see for sure. Yeah, he's toast. He's good.
If only we brought the magical healing
it was a
5 minutes
noble
earlier.
sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
But we all passed. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, they're kind of talking. It's like, I can't believe you guys won. Well, I guess you guys are going to be the keepers, and it's just like, no, all of you cunts are passing because you defeated a boss monster. Like, you're good. That's clear how it's going to go, even though it's not said at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Red Dragon Keeper has discovered that he's acting right hand man.
His current right hand man.
Azuki is a spy for somebody, but unfortunately, he beats him to death before he has a time to properly interrogate him.
Again, him showing up to the Dragon Keeper meet and dinner
lunch
kind of thing. Yeah, where he's like, man, I can't believe he died before I fucking got to torture the information out of him, and like his hands are all bloody. He's like, oh well, how's things going with you guys? Like, is everything
we
cool?
just replaced us to tell me, Matt, after the last time you did this.
And you just
yesterday.
replaced your number one guy right before this fucking. It's like, God fucking damn it, Red. He likes this.
And so this guy was working with Peltrola in order so the Peltrola could recover an item. Also, the keepers haven't found the blue divine artifact.
The other thing of
by our heroes.
Petrola, we forgot to mention earlier, Petrola did escape by having exes eat him. I think that was the plan.
He seemed fine with it.
About. Yeah, he was just there while she was like chewing him, and she's like, "Sorry, D, this has got to be the way it's be. I don't know how to be any other way, but super fucking loyal." It's a tragic eating of your boss and then walking away. It's a very odd scene, but
yeah, that old like cliche, yeah. Sort of to wring some sympathy off.
So they're making Hisui do all the PR work over the incident, and we get a glimpse of her.
There's just got to be someone better for the PR, right?
Just
maybe not someone high enough.
Very pained grin. I suppose like anybody who is good at it is busy or in fucking intensive care right now.
Yeah.
She's just says, yes, don't worry, we got all under control. It's all fine.
Yeah. So the mystery with Kaguma was he was injured, but someone teleported him or took him somehow. He got to presumably the guy with a healing artifact, and so he's okay. And yes, this has D going, who would have done that?
Who would have been in the position to do that kind of thing?
Yeah. Again, he's been told before that like you think you first one come up with the idea to infiltrate the Rangers. You're wrong. There's lots of us who are on the ground here. So.
Literally, the top yellow, the right hand woman of the Yellow Ranger is like, I am infiltrating the Rangers to do my own various plans. It's like
destroy them. Yeah.
One of the things I did like about Red revealing his fucking, I was like, I only wanted blue because he was tall, and like, so that's why you recruited in the first place. It was for the image of the fucking thing. He's all about the fucking image of the organization. Yeah. It's
so you get a much clearer like view of him. It is just seemingly pure vanity on his part. The entire thing's being done for. But now, so say we got Takita, where it's like, okay, so what's his plan now? We now know he's up to something. What is going to be his deal?
Well, I think like he's running too much stuff right now. It's literally written all over his face. He can't really ignore it anymore.
Yes.
I gotta know what the fuck is going on there. Like I was just going to like follow their lead and be a big psycho and climb the ladder, but I keep getting almost killed. So I want to find out what keeps happening.
But the other thing is like, much like the recently deceased Head Blue, and the guy Fighter D is pretending to be, they all come from this one decent fucking Blue Ranger guy. Like he comes from the same orphanage as the guy D's impersonating. And it's just like, presumably he has some good in him because he was influenced by the one decent fucking guy who died fucking years ago. And now and the one good potentially Ranger at the top is also fucking dead now, so that's gonna mess with the structure a bunch as well.
Well, I suppose what'll happen for D then is that when he just looks deeper into this feeling, he will have the kind of sense of relief that, well, at least I wasn't what I fought him, but at least I didn't kill him. If I had like
That's
known about
true
this
as well.
sooner,
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't have even killed him then. And now I feel aggrieved, and now I want to avenge him because he's actually a pretty solid dude.
It's the thing as well, like that they make him kill like the one that we know for sure was like a good guy in the Rangers kind of thing. Like he cared about his subordinates. He acted like a cunt, but was actually like a really nice guy. That kind of thing. And it's interesting that he has to kill that guy first in order to progress of taking apart this. It's like he's like 1 down, 4 to go. It's just like
Yeah.
like take it. I'll take the win. Take the win. But you need to kill the good guy because the good guy, while decent and being good and all that shit, he is being a good guy in a shitty organization that is crap and bad actually. So he's supporting a structure that is shit by even though he's a good guy within it. Yeah.
Yes, but the other problem is like one of them is the sister of the person you're pretending to be, and we don't really know too much about the other two yet.
No, we haven't really got into a lot of their deal
well,
yet.
one
Like,
is a master of covert operations, so I want
Not
to
a
keep
great
their
look.
life under wraps. Yeah.
and another one is like R&D. So you're using this alien technology to progress humanity, right? It's like no, just for the show, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, good news. Then there's a mention of this organization who the guy was working for, helping patrol it, and we don't know what that is. But then we see like a shot of a shanty town, and within a tent, we see a new character who we've never seen before, who's got marks all over his face. And then we are promised season 2, and I was like, excellent! I don't have to go and buy the comics now. I can wait at least until season 2.
Yeah.
Then you're bereft.
And then I'll have to start buying the comics. Yes. But yeah, this was a very enjoyable episode, and it kind of hit all the things I love the show about, which is all these everybody having their own little thing going on, plotting against each other. So
plans, tripping over plans.
Yeah, sort of building paranoia.
I think despite some of the flaws of the show, like being stuck in that car park for so fucking long, like it still has that interconnectivity, that kind of like everyone playing off each other, but also like teaming up together for their own purposes for now. I was just like, yeah, all of this is really good.
Yeah, well, it's these like getting a view of the world that's broader than heroes and villains. It's just like I'm like fucking like the downtrodden versus the oppressor now. That's what I'm eventually coming around to, is that the worst of us, like or we're written off as being the worst of you, but we're just as good as you, and I'm going to prove it by killing you one by one.
Because even his view of it's like, when I eventually take over the world, the thing I totally want to do, it's like, what are you going to do? It's like, no, I'm just gonna live it up, really. Like I'm not really gonna like oppress the people or anything. It's like, what's the fucking point?
Like it could like this kind of thing of, and there are examples of this even come out recently. Like that just we really kind of like straight into we're gonna get back at the fucking popular kids. Yeah, fuck them. But it doesn't feel like that. It could be very easily, and things have fallen into that kind of pit. So I'm glad to see this avoiding it. Yeah.
Yeah, because his fantasy is we're gonna have a slap up meal with my friends. Which is friends he didn't have before.
Like he is developing friendship and like respect for these guys who are also at the lowest rung of a different fucking organization, specifically the one he's trying to take down. But he also like goes like, these guys are fucking cool. Like he keeps like, hey, you guys took down a boss monster. You guys are cool. It's like, D, that's your boss. It's just like, but that's not important to him. He's just like, yeah, fight the power.
But this episode establishes that he's never had any love for the bosses.
Yeah.
No.
Sensibly,
by showing his origin. Because he's questioning it immediately, and we see X has never questioned it, and that's why it's going to be more tragic for her, as she slowly will have that trust taken advantage of, presumably, and then she'll eventually either come a cropper due to it, or eventually have to like realize, oh, I've been wrong for all this time, and D, you were right. But we will see. And what the next start is, I assume it's something to do with this organization and this mystery man who we've never seen before. Then we got Kaiju number 8, episode 12, Kafka Hibino.
That's his name. Is that Kaiju number 8?
Will he be executed Will he be executed at the series end early?
No, he's just starting to lose it. No, the monster's taking over. He's going to kill fucking Kikuro's dad right in front of her. Even then, in general, knowing all this, he's still like going for the kill shot. He says, I still believe in the man. And he just like, even if he's falling right into it, remember, it's like, no, I got one. Me and was falling there for me. I got one to be here for you. If I'm going to like go out as a monster, if I'm going to be a monster, like, I'm going to like die as a man. He even thrusts his own hand into his own chest before his big monster man body kills everything.
I like that visual where he's trying to struggle inside the body of Kaiju number 8, and he's like, his body is consumed by that weird thing that it forced him to consume it, like at the start of the show. But then he's like, I'm falling, and he's saved by like the kid and then the adult version of his best friend, and he's like, okay, like it's a nice kind of thing of like what actually, what's the core of you, what's the heart of you, and it works well with that as well, because initially when they have Mina kind of come in, it's just like, wait in this waiting room, meeting room, for, we want your information. This is just from a disembodied voice from over the PA, and she's like, absolutely. She's going to sit down. It's like, there was not a
there
fucking prepared for you. You fucking stand. And she's like, okay, yes sir,
All
yes
right.
sir, disembodied voice. She's like, I have to wait here while they're killing Kafka, and
she's got to take a lot of shit off of them, and even afterwards.
Oh, so much shit.
Well, this like okay, we had to hear your report on your subordinate Kafka Hibino, one thing. Well, in my opinion, as a cadet, he's just like that, and that, but as a man, like, he has to stuff, he just out for people that. If we didn't ask for your opinion about him as a person, even as one I know as regular as a soldier, we didn't get that from anywhere.
And they said up front, like, where it's like, hey, we're just getting your testimony to fucking fill in the blanks on the fucking on the sheets of dismissal / turning this motherfucker into weapons. It is not going to count for shit. So don't you just say your fucking piece. We'll write it down, and then that's it.
But she's not talking to them. She's talking to the fucking general there, because again, despite his fucking this whole stern demeanor like that, he's fucking like. He doesn't want to fucking upset his daughter. I think he wants to
that's the thing with
make use of this guy, give him a chance.
That's the thing with the fight. Like, it seems like, oh my god, this is an execution. And it's like, but you have the guys in the commentary box kind of like going like, yeah, he's holding back a little. He's letting them see. He's like, oh fuck, I can't fight him as I can't just view him as a person like during the fight, because at one point Kafka is like, oh, he's just like going wild and he's leaving openings, but then Kafka like rips his own fucking spine off as Kaiju.
Yeah, I think my favorite bit is when he uses his entire body as a decoy and grows another body around the core behind him.
That's so
cool. It's all stuff that somebody I wouldn't think of disassembling my body molecule by molecule, because even he's twisting his torso around for it to go with the fucking momentum of the punch. Kafka's feeling that don't twist my body, that hurts.
Yeah, he's ripping his own fucking spine apart. But your man's fighting him in this kind of thing and taking the hits from Kaiju number 8, and he's kind of thinking to himself, I can't just view him as a person. I need to go he's pushing his body beyond any kind of human limitation. He's doing it's like. So you're viewing him as a person. It's like, yeah, he's testing him. He's trying to say, he's like, is there a fucking guy in here? How far can I push him? And do I want this fucking guy on my force? That kind of thing. And that's, like you say, that's the thing Mina's appealing to later. It's just like, you, the boss, is like, his most important feature is his human heart that he absolutely fucking has.
They doesn't have anymore, according to the X-rays.
But I'm talking about the metaphysical heart, not the blood pumping one. And he visibly reacting to that, he's like, "Yep, I fought him. I know that."
Because the commentary that the other guys are doing, and the fact they say, "Oh, you do report. Don't worry what you say," and then they get annoyed at what she says. I think they already know in their hearts that he's going to not have him executed and use him as a tool.
They're basically trying to talk down the boss before the boss says anything. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't say we didn't tell you, boss, and this blows up on our faces.
And even at the end of the fight, where Kafka punches himself through his own fucking chest in order to go I proved I'm a dude, falls over, collapses. We have a guy come in, I was like, I'm about to execute him. He was like, I didn't fucking say execute him. Leave that guy alone. Bring him to the hospital.
I didn't hear no about.
Yeah.
And I also like how at the table meeting, it's the ones who are the lower ranks, the ones who are closer to her, are the ones who are reacting worse, and the guys who are sitting next to the boss,
they're staying quiet.
I just
the dudes with eye patches, and kind of cool scars on the dome of their head.
The guys who have been in it longer.
They've seen stuff.
Yeah. it's a good visual to show that these are the old fucking hands. They know how the boss reacts. It's like, let's just fucking wait and see what the fucking king says, like that kind of thing. Which other guys are like, we'll influence the king. Yeah.
Look, we've known for a long time. We've talked about these things long into the night over many a drink, and it's just no. He's just when he gets to decide, when he wants to do something. There's no talking him down, lads. It's just faster. It's just faster. That's
There's
it.
even him kind of going.
I
like
say we keep him. I want to keep him. It's like, sure, sir. Yes, very
we
sure.
will use Kaiju number 8 as a weapon, and they're like, sir, there's no precedent for this. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, doesn't mean I have a giant fucking tiger. I'm just saying, it's like, there's not a. This isn't a usual. I know it's JSDF with a K fucking put in the middle. But like, you're using weapons and armor and shit made out of kaiju. I feel like you guys are willing to bend the rules a little in order to increase your power. Fucking shit. Yeah.
And the comment we get from 9 at the end suggests that perhaps them turning the kaiju into weapons may be why the kaiju are attacking them in the first place.
You are escalating the war, essentially. Yeah.
Well, it's fucked up, man. It's seeing like my old buddy, Kaiju number 2, getting turned into a pair of boxing gloves. That's fucked up.
Oh dear. Oh, actually, speaking of, we kind of skipped a lot of the fight stuff. Like them explaining is like, oh, he can also do range attacks by doing sonic boom. And at one point he does a sonic boom and then flips in the air like fucking Guile. And I was like, okay, they know what the fuck they're doing. That's good shit.
Everybody gets a text then said, Kafka, execution cancelled. It's like, yes, everyone's going like, oh, yes, but I respect him as a colleague.
Yes. Wasn't it like Mina's like walking out and she gets the message and she like group messages the rest of her squad or something?
Yeah, my favorite bit of this is Reno being annoyed that he's not the one who got to tell the room.
He was working out at the start with the other guy, with his rival, his biggest fucking rival, according to that guy's opinion. And he's like, I'm about to go, yes. And the other guy's like, oh yeah, here we fucking go. He fucking did it. And he's like, God fucking damn it, man. That's my best friend. Yeah, good shit.
Everyone's got to get stronger. Everyone's got to get stronger because now they all that fun. Now everything is out, and they'll be looking at us to keep him in line because he's going to be in our squad. So we all got to get just as good as he is. Yeah.
Again, just driving each other to higher heights like a good team should. Another thing, I always forget the general's name. I'm terrible at names anyway, but I think he comes across as a lot colder in the comics. I think his performance in this is really quite good. There's a lot more depth to it than just reading it. For me, anyway.
Asal Shinomiya, isn't he? That's the guy.
Yeah, it's Shinomiya. Yeah.
Okay.
Hohenheim from Fullmetal Alchemist with an extra sideburn.
I keep seeing Lord Genome. It's
the stylization of the sideburns as well.
But I get what you mean. Like when Kafka is kind of overcome whatever, and like he's not going to make. He's just like in a hospital bed, and the generals come in to talk to him about the whole deal. It's just like,
the general sat at his bed waiting for him to wake up. It's like, this is a very kind man.
But he's very overcome, but he's like, oh my god. But he's like, hey, we're not done talking. We got more stuff to go through here. You get the sense that this guy is definitely a father who's had no trouble getting his daughter to sit down and eat her dinner. It's like
he's maybe pushed his daughter a little hard, but like this is like it comes across in this is like, hey, remember that incident X amount of years ago? It's like, yeah, the one where your fucking wife died. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. So you can see the kind of coldness of him, but you can also see that this is something he cares deeply about. It's like, yeah, it's a little bit of combination.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be okay. The step 1 of Kaiju number 9 is playing for world domination. Dominate the mobile chess tournaments. He's playing 10 games at once. Oh, this guy.
No. Get an idea of the level of humanity's intellect and strategization.
Make some money doing so.
And also, he just put himself in as number 9 on the fucking all the chess boards, which is very funny. It's just like, that's a good enough name as any, right?
I'm not even trying to hide. I'm right here.
This is going to be his fatal error: is he wasn't trying to get to the number 1 of the online Go leagues.
Oh no.
Chess is a child's game. Go, that's where it's fucking at. Yeah.
Well, it's just that the Kaiju, like Kaiju Hachiko, Kaiju Kyugo, is just like the name for. It's usually like it's usually for like a vehicle or a ride, but I think it's any kind of big animal when you name it.
Okay.
I get confused.
He says, "What does he want to get back from them? Why? He gives the reason why he's been attacking them. He's trying to get back some sort of kaiju power. That's it. Yeah.
Something they're taking from us.
I presume something they've taken and turned into a weapon, or like have kept in a big box, and now they really have to. Because they are literally stealing kaiju abilities and powers. Like the standard suits can regenerate humans, which is like, that's weird. I still don't understand how that works, but okay.
Well, this thing goes back centuries. We've seen the tapestries that prove it.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? And I imagine as well, just because of the nature of kind of the subject matter we're dealing with here, was it something around World War II, like maybe some kind of bomb being dropped or something like that might have caused a certain giant beast to appear, specter of nuclear annihilation, or something like that. Who's to say?
It's well timed out, the adaptation, because it's good to give 9 a motivation at the end of the first season. Because otherwise he just seems like an absolute jerk doing this for no reason.
Well, and always the thing is, like, he's very vocal about it. Is also just like, I want to evolve kaiju somehow. It's like collecting information off of you to how to kill you better. I want to evolve our species, which reach the apex. It's also again kind of it's having the synchronicity then with the comic where it is right now. That stuff about the kaiju inside Kafka that compels him to kill a kaiju has come up again, and kind of that beast mode where he just goes killer crazy.
Yeah. Like you say, it's a good synchronicity with what's happening in the manga. I mean, like overall, I think this season was pretty great.
I think it finished strongly.
But
that's when the comic is really getting into gear. Then, basically, when a general shows up, he's just punching monsters with his pile bunkers. I love it.
And it's his second. It's the other guy who's got the spin-off comic who shows
Hoshina, he's the other firm favorite, I think, in a lot of the polls. And he's gonna have this great double act now when he gets paired up with number 10.
The other thing is like that side B stories or B sides, I can't remember what it's called. Is what's the captain? He got his hair fucking swept back. He shows up at the end of this.
At the end of this, Narumi,
Yeah, he's one of the other popular ones. He's shown up in that. I'm liking the B-sides. It kind of fills out a lot of the other characters a little more, and it's a nice way of like doing extra characterization and work without veering from the main plot that much. It's the thing I liked about My Hero Academia Vigilantes, where it's just like, let's look at this other fucking thing and have fun with that for a little bit. It lets you do extra stories in the same universe. Yeah,
like you can get plenty of the guys who had to go around and clean up after the thing. I mean, there's so much you can kind of mine out that that's what a comic is going to be about for a while. But we'll leave that to another writer though.
Yeah,
and I guess they can do historical ones as well. Like
they have that option. It's like, you want to see some fucking samurai fight kaiju? It's like, yeah, probably. That sounds pretty sweet.
Netflix, here we come.
Or about supervillains fighting ogres and orcs. It's Suicide Squad Isekai episodes 2, 3, and 4 to bring us up to date. None of these have titles.
That makes it's going to make it more difficult to remember which happened and what, but other than that, we probably could.
Episode 2 is essentially Suicide Squad imprisoned, despite them helping out.
It's nearly like the start of a Suicide Squad, except this time it's starting in the fantasy world or in fantasy prison. Like, I was like, okay, that's pretty good. I do like that. Yeah.
This is where we learn that Clayface is totally not only aware of the isekai genre, he seems to be a big fan, and therefore he thinks he should be the main character in this story.
He assumes he is the main character in this story. He's looking forward to meeting the princess, and obviously she'll fall in love with him because, I mean, like, it's the main guy. Why wouldn't she?
So I'm just going to walk straight out of prison because, hey, I made a mud.
Like, him doing that is like, this is where the hero has to leave behind his beloved friends, and it'll resolve him to be better. And they're all like, hey, guards, he's escaping, get his ass.
Just very early on, is having like, no, they will like just fuck you turn over in a second. Probably because they think it's funny.
Yes.
Like, you have put you back in your players.
One of the things you have going throughout these episodes is them randomly asking Peacemaker, how long have we got fucking left? And he has it down to the fucking seconds because he's just counting it.
72 hours now. He's like fucking Senku up in there. He's been counting all the
he's
time.
still wearing a bag with holes in it, and they ask him why he won't take it off because it jeopardizes the mission if he takes his
It would
mask
reveal
off.
his identity. Does that fucking matter in a fantasy world? I don't fucking think so. But anyway, like basically them kind of going to him is like, hey, how long have we got left? It's like, fuck, that's not long, and then not really doing anything with that information, which is so good.
The other big thing of episode 2 is the inability to talk to any of the characters from the fantasy world because they don't speak Japanese.
There's a system in a RPG I'm looking to run, Wild Sea, where you have these different languages and you have different levels of like 3 different levels of like fluency in these languages. And this is like, I learned how to speak the local dialect just from orcs while I was in prison, and it's so fucking funny that he keeps insulting the guy with the same insult because he only knows the words like, hey motherfucker, where you running to, you piece of shit. It's like, that's how orcs say hello. And it's just like, so he says it like 3 times to the fucking
that's this because they meet Rick Flag in episode 2, and at the start of episode 3 when they're trying to escape and they get confronted by the knights again, Rick Flag goes, don't worry, I'll learn a bit of their language, and then do exactly what he's just insults the head of the guard, Cecil.
And Cecil is trying really hard. It's like, the princess told me to come here to talk to them, and like, it's like, all right, I'm not gonna fight him, and Rick Flag is saying in the friendliest voice possible, it's just like, yeah, that's right, chicken shit, walk away. And it's like, because that's what the orcs would say. And it's like, oh my god, it's so fucking funny. Rick Flag is trying, but he knows it's really bad for him.
Even like how like they acted. I thought like even I was saying it, but that sounds like cool Japanese. But it's like no, this kind of I've swapped the syllables around. It's just like it sounds like it, but it's just nonsense, garbled words.
But Cecil follows the princess's instructions, and they bring the Suicide Squad to meet the Queen and the princess, who looks just like Harley, but nobody has noticed this for 2 episodes now.
Getting prisoners any day now.
Whether the princess has noticed, I don't fucking know, because she seems fixated on Harley. Harley has noticed and doesn't fucking like it. It's like, I hate that princess. She reminds me of someone who I fucking hate. Someone like, weak-willed and that kind of fucking shit. Tip of my fucking tongue. It'll come back to me. But yeah.
So they cast a translation spell to actually allow the series to progress. And so Flag tries to make a deal. Well, first of all, he explains that, oh yes, I brought another squad earlier and they've escaped, and they're now the generals in the Empire forces.
Yeah, the reason why the demi-humans and whatnot have uprisen against is because, and the reason they're doing better now is because they have different generals. I know fucking who, Your Majesty. I can help. I can use this squad to take care of them for you.
I think it's Peacemaker is the one who gets them to.
Peacemaker makes more fucking sense because he's so.
They're disturbing the peace. I will join your crusade for justice.
That sounds like Knight shit. Yeah, this
can
guy.
Speak like on a level with them.
So, like, again, Flag just failing at his basic missions. They're like, all right, we're going to take Rick Flag hostage. So if you guys don't come back, we're going to kill Rick Flag. And they're all like, yeah, oh no, that was And he's just shouting at the doors like, fucking remember, I'm the only one who knows the fucking code to keep your fucking necks from exploding. You got to fucking do this. And they're like, I guess we do have to save him though. Shit.
Okay, everyone put up on your costumes. Yay, we got our costumes back.
Yes. So yeah, they're going to get rid of the beastmen who've taken over, which are these wolfmen who we learn in the following episode used to be part of the kingdom's forces.
The elves, the wolfmen, like all these other like non-human things were all part of the kingdom at once.
Even seem as cute little kids running around being little rapscallions with the princess.
So it's kind of like, wait a minute, is this like a racism thing? Because I only see fucking humans at the top of this fucking kingdom, that kind of thing. It's just like,
But in episode 3, it becomes clear, it's Ratcatcher is leading these wolfmen. And Deadshot's like, oh, this is easy. He's my best. I'm a great friend of Ratcatcher's. We were friends in prison.
We were in the joint together. I looked out for him. Oh, he owes me fucking one.
And then we get this flashback, which is hilarious.
And it's so well animated as well. Like, that increases. Like, generally, they spare a lot of the budget for, we're in our costumes or an action scene, but they spared it for this
Well,
beautiful
Deadshot
flashback.
remembers things in high definition, you see. Yes.
That's true. It's that great vision. Yeah.
Yeah, of all these things where it's from Deadshot's point of view, and he thinks he's helping out Ratcatcher, but from the viewer's point of view, of Deadshot's point of view, it's clear Deadshot is a terrible friend.
A terrible person, where he's just like, two guys are bullying Ratcatcher like in prison, and trying to establish dominance, and he's like, hey, you guys back off, and they're like, whoa, Deadshot, don't mess with us. Like, yeah, I know he's a piece of shit, like stinky ass motherfucker, and he probably has a weird fucking dick, and like, just like, but leave him alone. And it's like, don't worry, buddy, I got your back. And
Here,
like,
come here. I gotta give you a cool haircut.
I'm taking a shit. No, it's just like, why would you give him a haircut while he's on the fucking toilet? What is wrong with you? The thing I was like,
now
hey,
you look really tough.
you like stinky cheese because you like rats and shit, right? I got you the stinkiest cheese out of the bin. Here, give me that apple. I don't mind this fucking trade. I was like, you're bullying him. You're bullying him so fucking hard, and you don't even fucking know it. And Ratcatcher just being like, that motherfucker, Deadshot. I'm finally gonna get my revenge because now I can control Beastmen, which is bigger than rats.
Yes. Anyway, the result of this confrontation is they destroy the fort in a very dirty pair type victory.
And it was never explained to them, because Cecil, the old hero, was basically saying like, hey, you guys stay the fuck out of this. We'll fucking take the fort. And it was clear, like, they want the fort back. It's their fort. You look at like these beastmen wearing like rags and Ratcatcher. It's like this ragtag thing. It doesn't look like this is a Wolfman fort. I'm pretty sure they've taken over one of their forts. So while they're losing a lot of forces getting it, it's because they're trying to take it back intact. So obviously the squad sneak around. Like Clayface kind of going like, I can control like mud, so I'm going to make a hole in the side of the fort. And I was like, oh, there we go. And it's like, hey guys, there's water towers. Make this place more moistury. And it's like, okay, time to fucking melt most of this fort, have it collapse in on itself. It's like, fucking hell. And they're like, we did it. Job done. It's like, you guys are going straight back to prison.
Good job, idiots. Now your next job is to defend the front where the fort used to be. It's okay, we got a plan for that. Check this out. And they have this long, because they had this long war council about it. And it's episode, we've got a master force this year. We know some guys from the joint, so they get all the orcs guys from prison to up one.
To fill out
it's
the numbers,
basically similar deal. You get time for settlements. It's like we do. We're arranging these kind of clay barriers here. It's going to be all totally sweet. Like, here they come now. And you guys going to do anything to go out there? Just hold on. Just hold the line. Just wait for the signal, okay? Just kicking back like this.
And several times over, like, our Suicide Squad, they were there for the setup, but then they were just like, yeah, we're not going to fucking fight. Yeah, we're just gonna wait over here. Everyone's like, where's Deadshot?
He was Ratcatcher. He was always like cloaked wolfmen. Was like hundreds of them. Jesus, like, what are we gonna do? And then, all right, time to buff my wolfmen. Here you go. Oh no! It's just completely. That's all his build up. It's just.
They correctly identified that Ratcatcher can control rats, and it's obviously that magic staff he was using on the fort that lets him apply that to these wolfmen. And so they're just like, Deadshot's like, I'm gonna hang back on a high position, of one of the few high positions left on the fort, and shoot his fucking magic staff. And thereby negating the entire fucking problem. We're just going to make it look like we have built up a force here of ogres and clay barriers, which immediately like fall apart after this, which is very funny. It's just like, yeah, they weren't good barriers. It's just for the show of it. And the Wolfmen are kind of like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Is that guy trying to fucking order us around? It's like, yeah, we surrender. We don't want to fight. We're just like regular people, actually. Just we happen to have.
I don't know if they beat up Ratcatcher or killed him or rent him.
Not clear.
Unclear at this point.
But
yes, our heroes, quote unquote, as they organised it. So if we do this, we can just go straight to the gate, get our bombs reset. That's what we're going to do. The news comes to the Queen that the Wolfman army, the Beastmen army, has surrendered.
They're watching on Crystal Ball, and it's just like, hey, where's the big fight happening? It's like, oh, the opposing army surrendered. Well done, my queen. Your plan has worked, and she's
furious.
She gets some Mamoru Oshii fisheye lens treatment. It's just like, whoa.
It's not that there's an expression there. It's the fisheye lens doing all the anger. Yeah, you're quite right.
Yeah, so what's really going on here? Also, Katana is working with Ratcatcher and whoever the Emperor is. We learned in episode 3, which is also on. I mean, I've got a pretty good guess who the Emperor is. I'm assuming it's the Joker.
Yeah.
Emperor Joker is a fucking
Yes.
run. So yeah, that would
Yes.
make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the point in episode 3 where they didn't know who they'd never seen the Emperor, and I was like, okay, it's the Joker then, because he's the
But the
one
other thing
character
is
not
like,
accounted for.
yeah, and we also see like Harley Quinn like freaking talk like going over in the War Council is like, oh, my pudding taught me how to fucking deal with rats, as in rat bastard gangsters. Like you make them fucking kill each other, and it's like, hey, what's the Empire doing against the magical fucking queendom? And it's just like making the fucking rats fight each other. It's like, yeah, you've kind of set up that this is a very Joker plan. Make them all fucking fight each other. So they're undoing it unwittingly, basically.
Just lazy. It's like, no, yeah, we could just snipe him. Isn't the most exciting way to complete the Hitman mission, but it works. So
Like, and it's such a good like, oh, we're gonna get a big fantasy battle, and just like, nope, no, you're not. It's so well done. Like the cheap fucking win, and in comparison to I think we're going to talk about later, is like it's a much better executed cheap win for comedy stakes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying the show. Has it caught on with you guys now? I take it by your response that it from the first. After the first
oh
episode?
yeah, but well, like it's.
I wasn't as sure about it because it looked good, but it was kind of like, let me get a feel for it. And it's like, yeah, okay, we're kind of getting into the thing about it. The fact that they basically end up in prison after every fucking mission because they succeeded by pissing everyone off. It was just like, yeah, that's pretty funny.
It's also like I love this kind of fucking dissonance, but this is obviously like an old fantasy kind of realm. But some of like just the design of it is like it's very thorough, but it's also very silly. Like all those prison guards that like go around have the massive mustaches and the big pantaloons and the big hat with the feather, and it's like these are like your prison wardens. And all of like the generals had the fucking massive sleeves and the ruffs. It's just so overdone.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, the guards are all identical, which is odd. And also, we get these like sort of CG, but it's like represented as like leather and plastic and metal map of the fantasy world.
Oh, that they can project on the crystal ball
It's
screen.
it's the Game of Thrones intro sequence.
Yeah.
But it's tiny. It's a tiny world they're in.
Because when they're explaining, it's like, oh, this used to be the way the kingdom was divided, but obviously the elves went over and that changed it this way. And I was like, there's like fucking 3 islands in this whole fucking place.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not very big. And we do see the thing.
There's
like,
more on the ground.
If they get here, they'll cross this bridge represented by a tiny chain. And it's just like we saw that bridge. It wasn't that big. It's like this. Yeah, this place is not very big.
I'm wondering, because they're also floating islands, aren't they? So we don't know what's below them. I was like, is this going to turn out this fantasy world is also a prison of whatever is below it?
Yeah. I assume it is because there's like weird a mystical moon in the sky kind of thing. But I was half thinking it was like, is this just floating above America? And Amanda Waller's like, give me that. I want that. Give me it. Like, you know what I mean? Just
after the end of episode 4, I want Amanda Waller and the Queen to meet in a scene as well. So
see, I feel like they'd get on in the worst possible way. That kind of fucking thing. Yeah, just having her and they are using her well. They're just kind of like giving you little peeks of her, little things of her. But then in the ending sequence, having her do the fucking part of the dance number. That just a great fucking bit of. It's like, yeah, Amanda Waller's a great character, but don't lean on her too much. You know that way.
Like Suicide Squad, Isekai makes sense if you consider the Middle Earth is their oath for a prison.
Chibi Godzilla reigns again. Season 2, episode 13. Don't underestimate monster hooligans. We get Chibi Titano, who's a monster hooligan. Got to be careful of him. Bad boy. He's very useful though and helpful and very considerate of people's feelings.
He's like the bad boys from like Kiryu, and I was going to say like from Windbreakers. Who's just like, he seems tough, but he's actually a good chap. Yeah, he's good in the pinch, very friendly, all about community fucking thing. It's like, hey, and rolling those oars, man, I wish I could do that. It sounds so fun.
Can oneself be trained to do that? Or is it how your tongue is shaped?
Yeah,
that's what I feel. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's languages where it's essential, so I assume
that's true.
Learn it. But surrounded by flat Lincolnshire consonants and vowels. It's never been something I've been able to do.
I don't speak two goods any ways, so this could be tough for me to begin with.
But yeah, it's nice to see a kind of an odd, not an odd pick, just a kind of out there big Titanosaur. It's like, all right, that's fucking cool. Give him the punk fucking hairdo, make him a little punk. It's like, oh, he's lovely. Yeah, you're good.
Yes, there's lots of Rodan apologizing to him.
Rodan is like, oh, this guy's tough. I'm so sorry, sir. Please beat me into the ground. It's like, Rodan, you're immediately giving up. But yeah, that's Rodan. If he doesn't, he'll crash, I guess. So, you know.
Yeah. Then we got, it's now called Red Cat Ramen on Crunchyroll.
It is, but on the like little image thing, it's still called the fucking old title, like because they haven't changed the JPEG. I guess.
Ramen. There's some weird ones like that because there's one
Yeah.
called like my senpai. Okay, sure, senpai, you keep that. That's kind of like a thing. Is an otoko no ko. It's my senpai as a boy. Why do you just call my senpai as a boy? Everyone knows about what boy means. There's some
I know
weird stuff going on with how things are kind of like localized or whatever.
Yes.
I know a lot of people get bugged down on that. Like I'll interchangeably call it Delicious in Dungeon or Dungeon Meshi. It doesn't fucking matter to me. I know what I'm talking about. Like a title is fine. Like Go Go Loser Ranger isn't a great title, but it gives you the idea. It's not a transliteration that great, but it's close enough that it's like you get what we're going to be talking about.
This one's bonkers because it's translated in the subtitles.
Yeah.
And so it was like, why is it not just called Red Cat Ramen? And now it is, but the graphic is still. Presumably, it's all to do with licensors.
That's
all
other thing.
licensors, yeah. And the other end of it I hear is that, like, just for in terms of usage, like, not everyone speaks English in the world. So having this this Japanese title is like, you know, well, it's from Japan. This is what's called Japan. Everyone can agree on that, so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
But this is called Red Cat Ramen on the manga sites, so the official manga sites in which the manga runs outside of Japan.
Which we're trying to sell, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is the comic's first 2 chapters, and the animation is fine in close-ups, bad in wide shots.
Boxy.
Yeah. There's 2 things that kind of bother me mostly about the style. I didn't even mind the kind of choppiness of it, but yeah, like you said, the white shots. I feel like the cats, the little cats, their heads are a little big, proportionally. They're like cartoon cats rather than regular cats, and they don't they don't switch from like cartoon standing up on my 2 legs walking around cat to like regular 4-legged cat. They just have the one model. And the worst for that is Krishna, who has this giant butt now. It's just like there's no, you know, the way like a tiger is like very rectangular as an animal. Like this is like
it's like squatting
pear shaped, basically. Yeah.
Well, it was weird, like, because when you see her going to the back of the shop and she opens the sliding door, but doesn't open it like enough all the way, and then a little bit of her legs kind of knocks it the rest of the way, and then comes in. I think they're just like trying to show she just come out to, like, you know, intimidate a would be fucking like fucking gangster. Just gotta shove it back in. It's the size and the kind of scale of her, I suppose.
Yeah, so those who've not watched it, the plot of this cartoon is that Tamako, a human, has come to get a job at the Red Cat Ramen restaurant, a restaurant that is run by cats.
It's a ramen restaurant run by cats. They're like, I like the fact that they introduced the sign as like, hey, we try and not put cat hair in the food, but there may be cat hair. Like that sign is up on front, so no one fucking question this. People will constantly question this throughout the show, so it's fine.
So yeah, she gets the job because she's not a cat person, and so
that's the only fucking requirement.
And also we learn later on that she's a nepo baby.
It's half nepo baby, but like there's a good part to it as well.
Her aunt used to own this restaurant,
but it's not even that like her aunt used to own it. Her aunt was one of the only people who would rent a fucking space to cats. Like it's just like, whoa, you did us a fucking solid. Obviously, we'll do you a solid by hiring your
And her aunt has sent her here because she had her last job treated her terribly, and she had a terrible time at her last job. And the aunt's like, okay, go work for these cats. I know
these guys are fucking sound out like that. Like it's the idea that it's
all but one of them.
Decent people doing each other a favor more so than nepotism, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, I'm using Hannah's words because Hannah, the one female cat working at the restaurant, does not like Tamako.
Hannah is the kind of cat. I don't think this of all cats. It's generally put at all cats. But Hannah's the kind of cat who is very particular. We'll warm up to you eventually, but like is very kind of like, no, I don't like you, new thing in the fucking house. Get the fuck out of here. That kind of
Also, she's the greeter and the waitress, and so she's very charming on the job.
Erudite cute.
like
And then
rolling on her
once-
back and doing the fucking thing when she comes in
once
as
it's
a.
clocking off, she's getting her catnip roll up and going onto the balcony.
It's basically the equivalent of like, don't smoke in the fucking restaurant kind of thing. The good shit. So yeah, she gets the job. Like your man's like I mean, like it's provisional hire. She's a temp worker essentially. But yeah, you got the job because you're not a cat person. And as later explained to her, is just like cat people come to this restaurant because they're like, oh, brilliant, I love cats. You don't want to be working with that. Like that. This is our professional thing. Is like I love cats. That's why I've come here. Is like you don't want people to come here to pet the cats as a job, even though your job is literally to fucking brush the cats. You're essentially petting the cats as a fucking job. Because it's
At
hard
least
for them
with
to brush
these two
themselves or
stories.
brush each other. Yeah.
Yes, and this is the other problem with this episode is it kind of is by chapter 4 it's kind of found its rhythm, and also they realize we can't have this comic can't just be about this lady brushing cats, and so we'll see next episode that they give her a few more job responsibilities to make the cartoon a little bit more interesting than
I mean, like
just
even
more
in this
brushing
episode, she's
cats.
kind of like, I brushed all the cats and they're opening the restaurant, they're doing their shit. I guess I could tidy up around the place. She's already looking for other things to do. Like it is slowly getting to where it's going to be. But yeah.
It feels like no, there's some of the same. We gotta head off the probably the pedants of this, and so we can kind of address this, so then we can get like the actual work of like making some kind of like a funny comic about cats in a restaurant.
Yes, I think that's why the week this came out, they did another chapter about cat hair in the food to address it a second time. So anybody coming to it this week because they've heard an anime starting, this thing will be addressed here as well.
My favorite thing about this week's chapter of like the two young kind of Garu kind of girls kind of coming in going like, whoa, is there cat hair in the food? There's like, no, they're like, we work very hard to not keep cat, and they explain it to these girls. So then when another new person comes in, these girls explain it like old fucking hands, and I was just like, yeah, that's going to be a lot of the fandom and the new fandom coming into this for a while. But they're doing it politely, basically, like which is fine.
So yeah, the problem is with the wide shots is they're using CG models, particularly in the wide shots, and they're kind of. I think Tamiko's worse than the animals. Her model
she's
is
choppier. Yeah.
She's kind of often stiffly posed, like they didn't know what she doesn't know what to do with her arms, perhaps because they haven't given her that many joints and in them for her to pose it properly.
The focus isn't on the cat models rather than the human models or her human model, that kind of thing. But I mean, like I think they're probably trying to get across, and it comes across overly CG stiffness, that she's stiff and awkward and like she's uncomfortable in her body, that kind of thing. I think they might be trying to do that, but again, it's lost in CG. It just looks like stiff CG.
I think they're trying to save time.
Could be that as well. Yeah.
Just the backgrounds too. Like I get like you gotta keep like a clean restaurant. This is practically sterile. There's like fucking nothing on the wall. There's barely even a fucking menu hanging up. And I've seen places now it has like little placards that run all the way along the wall with the specials. It's like, where are those? Come on.
Yeah.
They are there, but yes, you're not getting them in every shot. Which again might be because they've 3D modeled the shop, and therefore, depending on where they put the camera,
you need to model the shop once, basically. Yeah.
I'm not sure I need to carry on watching this because I've got the comic, and the comic.
Yeah, that's what struck me. So I hadn't read any of the comic. I've seen this, so I thought, I could just read it.
I am enjoying the performance, though. That's the thing that is keeping me there.
The ending animation is very good.
Yeah. I might stick with it a bit longer just because I'm enjoying the acting, and to see if it improves any. Like it seems unlikely it will, but because they have all these models in place, why would you fucking mess with them?
Well, it's also as well as maybe a very food heavy thing we're looking at here. In the first photo Ramen that came out, it has like the fucking 32-bit fucking thing of nori that's like plonked into the bowl. It's like, okay, yeah.
I thought it looked good other than that bit, but the solid piece.
Yeah, just little things like that.
The thing which might get me to watch episode 2 is if I see 3 chapter titles in the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the comic for its kind of very chill vibes, but you don't want to be like. I feel like 2 chapters feel a little stretched over like your half-hour block.
These 2 chapters had longer page runs,
So it works for
eventually,
this. Yeah.
eventually it settles to 18 pages a chapter, which I'm hoping if it goes to 3, that would get me to check it out again if it's 3 chapters next week, because I think that's the ideal for any comic adaptation is 3 chapters.
Yeah, especially one like
and
this where not a lot happens in a given chapter, so you can easily
yes,
yeah.
and I don't trust the writers to be good enough to add things to make it a single chapter last satisfactorily half an episode.
There's
Yeah.
definitely not a hell of a lot to look at, so you need to again work
Yes.
what you got, use it wisely. And
Yes, and what you got is your forger playing a tiger.
yep.
That's good.
And
And
Kendra Rasuda being the ordinary
yes,
red chef.
yeah,
I mean, you got the voice, yeah.
It's a voice acting show, which is good for the woman who's playing Tamako because this is her first role, so she's going to get eyes on her because of all the other famous voice actors in the show. So people who are voice actor fans will come and watch it. But yeah, like something else. Not sure I need to watch another episode of this, but we've not got to the other thing yet. But that thing is not Dungeon People, episode 1, a person in the dungeon, because this was right up my street.
Initially, like I thought the design is like these are quite simple, but they use that simplicity like really fucking well. The cleanness of the designs and everything. I was like, yeah, no, this is fine. Like, like initially I was like, oh, I gotta watch out for those buff goblins, and I was like, okay, that's a pretty good, funny visual, that kind of thing. It's like, it's just you put a goblin head on a big buff green body, and I was like, yeah, that's all that needs to be. Perfect.
I think they're described as macho in the
macho. Sorry, you're right. Yeah,
yeah, but there's sometimes as I say buff. I was like, oh,
it's what I'm hearing and what I'm reading. Yeah.
Yes, macho would be so much funnier. Why you just keep that word?
Because macho implies like she's into it a bit, right? Like
yeah. So our heroine here is Clay, who is a thief who was trained by a thief who is her father, but I think perhaps adopted father, who trained her since youth to be the best thief you could possibly be, and she is. She can solo dungeons. She doesn't need a party, and she's
the whole thing. It was like, I think it's like my father trained me. It's like every day. It's like you must be able to jump to the tallest branch. You must be able to like cut steel with your knife. And it's just like I think he was a terrible trainer. Now that I'm fucking looking back on this, because that's not how you teach a kid, a beginner, at this fucking shit. Yeah, you must be able to go for 20 hours straight fighting. It's like no short rests. Come on.
Her dad is Brands, voiced by Aki Atsuka, and apparently he came into this dungeon and hasn't been seen since. So that's why she's come to this particular dungeon to find what happened to her dad.
And no one at the Adventures Guild has got past level 7, but she's just broken through level 9 on her own. So, but the monsters and it just explained the thing. It was like on the higher levels, like sometimes monsters turn into gems, but on the lower levels, it's like because they're so tough, they pretty much always turn into gems, which is pretty cool. And she shows this by like fucking decapitating a wizard goblin and 2 macho goblins.
Yeah, because you think, oh, these are quite cute designs, and then she just slays these goblins in incredibly bloody manner.
Which again, not expecting on the cutesy style, but I was like, that's pretty fun, yeah.
And she's like, the guardian monster you face at the end of the level, that's generally as powerful as the monsters which are going to be on the next level. Is a very D&D level dungeon design, and they mention how this is this isn't a living dungeon, so something is putting these things in here, as we discover by the end when they face as a guardian, they accidentally knock a wall down, and the guardian monster says, "Don't look through there."
The Minotaur like throws his axe and he's like, "Oh fuck!" He's even quicker without the axe, and he's like, "Ah shit! Can we call a fucking timeout? I fucked up." And it's like the boss is going to fucking have a field day with this. So the boss shows up. It is a small girl, and the boss, and she says to the Minotaur, "Is like, you weren't talking to the adventurer, was it?" And he's like, "Moo." I don't know. Fucking. It's like I was like, "All right, we'll brush it off. Don't fucking worry. We'll clean this up." Sorry, would you come with me a sec? I'm just gonna fix this wall. We just need to talk this through because it busts through the wall to a bedroom. Like it's just like wait, like just a regular bedroom with like a bookshelf and like a nice, tasteful plant, and it's just like, yeah, for like chilling and shit. It's like sorry about all that. A bit of a fucking mess. How about I hire you for the dungeon? So like, no, but I'm here to defeat the boss of the dungeon. Yeah, that's me. I'm the boss of the dungeon. I hire the monsters. I keep the fucking thing going. You know, I keep the whole thing a moving. So
Dungeon
when
Keeper, PC game, you might say.
yeah, that kind of fucking thing.
A dungeon administrator, I believe, is how she refers to herself.
Yeah, which would be the boss, right? The
Yeah, so
chief
she
dungeon
wants
administrator.
Clay to be the dungeon manager.
Yeah, but like you gotta use like lesser guys to kind of get the thing, and you already hit this fucking level by yourself, so you're more than fucking qualified to run a lot of this. Yeah.
Clay's not going to agree to that straight away, so they have to have a duel.
Because if
So
I just
she-
ask
Clay
her, like,
loses,
if
she'll
if
take
I
the
ask you, like, did you defeat my dad, like, 3 years ago, kind of thing, and if she says yes, then I won't get any satisfaction, but I'll see if I can defeat her with my own thing, and yeah, she's like, let me just teleport you to the final boss room. Usually I'd have 2 demons with me. It's like, so you give me a handicap. It's like, no, they usually just get in my fucking way, honestly. So like, we're just gonna do this as a perfunctory thing. I'll try and hold back. Like, it seems very sarcastic, but she seems like a very nice girl, so I don't think it's very. The tone seems bad. Would be bad if not for her actual fucking tone.
Yes. And Clay loses, so guess what? You're now the dungeon manager.
That
Wakes
was
up in
the deal.
bed. Yeah. That's the setup. It's all set up. I assume lots more of the jokes will happen next week.
Yep. So that's kind of where I figured. That's what I had heard. That I'll jump in on episode 2. Now they've finally setting it up to all the tables here. So
Yeah, it's trying to set it up like with the kind of cutesy style that there's like, oh, there's serious stakes, there's serious things, but it still managed to get a few jokes in. But I was like, yeah, this is going to get more jokey. You can tell from the first episode. I was like, yeah, it's just has to do the setup to get there.
But you can also tell watching it, it's the same division of OLM who did Odd Taxi and God, it's got such a long name. It's about the guy who got turned into a knockout in another world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that one
they
we
do quite
enjoyed.
clean designs, so yeah.
Reincarnated another world of fantasy knockout.
That's the one. We watched it.
Yeah,
we
that
can't
sounds
remember
right.
the title.
I didn't
but
watch
yeah.
much any of it. But it was.
It's-
I'd always have ridiculously long episode titles as well, so that we wait for you to kind of rattle off like a 20 word.
Yes.
It is super long titles. It has the fucking like Isekai. It's like, whoa, what if I turn into a sexy lady? That's a fetish. Like
Based on a manga.
Yeah, I know. But based on a manga rather than a light fucking novel. It has all these things
Yeah.
that should be fucking bad, but it was a very good show. Like is the odd thing of it. Yeah. And actually handles like flipping gender things very fucking well. Like it did everything with aplomb and was funny. Like it shouldn't have worked, but it fucking did. It was a very good isekai, I gotta say.
Absolutely horrible to an elf as well. Yeah, and this doesn't quite hit the heights of that in terms of story out the gate, but visually, it's a lot of fun, and it is kind of a sort of genre I like, which is it's a bureaucracy in a place you wouldn't expect to find a bureaucracy.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that? It's and I assume there's going to be a degree of like working backstage at the theater to it. But the theater is a deadly theater designed to kill adventurers.
Because like the dungeon administrator, like she specifically says, I moved that bedroom away from like being so close to the main dungeon, so we don't have that fucking problem again. And it's just like it's just a corridor with like rooms and shit behind the scenes part of the dungeon. So it's all very like not artificial but manufactured. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess also there'll be hotel stuff. I think as well. I think it's like where there's like wherever there's like a thing the customer sees, and then there's a thing hidden away from the customer that
I also
they
think
don't see.
It'll be fun with the contrast because she's talking like where she gets down to the macho goblins. It's like, down in the lower levels, the monsters actually are sentient and shit. You can see the goblins like talking and like working shit out. Just brutally murders those fucking goblins. That's what they're paid for. That's fine. And just the Minotaur kind of going like, I fucked up. The boss is gonna have my ass for this. Like that kind of. They're like they are just people working in the dungeon. So I mean, like I assume she's gonna be like, I killed like a lot of fucking monsters to get here.
Yeah, I think she says she summons them from hell, from another dimension.
So if they die, do they go back to hell and then they can be rehired? Like, how does this fucking work? Like,
Well, yeah, that's the question, because you just, but yeah, because it's pointed out that there's something else called a living dungeon, of which this is not.
Like Delicious in Dungeon, where it's like an
Yeah.
ecosystem. It's like, no. This is all fucking manufactured and shit. Like, I put this corridor down here. Again,
Which
like
again,
you said, Dungeon Keeper
so
shit.
D&D as well, and so
Mm.
Dungeon Keeper. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's scratching an itch, and I look forward to, and also it runs on high dive, so I feel like I'm getting some value out of this subscription.
One
and
thing,
also-
only thing is all it takes.
and also, yeah, because I go to the high dive, I was like, oh, this is a video player that works as well.
Yeah, there's that. I gotta give him that. Just it's hard to find things, but you know, just make your list and keep to it, and just
Sure. Yeah.
navigate to your list every time, and just makes it a lot easier because the video player does work a lot better than used to do.
And the last thing for this week, Quality Assurance in Another World, episode 1, Nikola, the Servant Girl.
Which is what I thought the prior show was going to be, but this was a different kind of isekai that I didn't like.
Yes, this is, well, it's revealed that the setup, it is literally Quality Assurance in Another World, in that a QA team has been sent into a video game and they've got stuck there. That's the reveal.
They've got stuck in virtual reality. And I was like, oh, for fuck. Like, you could do that in a fun way, but like, yeah.
Our hero has to fill in his JIRA reports until they can fix the game, and that will hopefully get him out of this world. But in doing this, in the first episode, he meets Nikola, the Servant Girl. They form a friendship, but alas, it's a set event, and so Nikola must die in flames.
It involved beating a dragon. There's like, you know, basically just control a load of exploding barrels and just like shoot from arrows from a distance, you know, kind of just kind of cheese it out. It's like, but nonetheless, the entire village just spontaneously combust, even though they won. It's just like, oh man,
that's a fucking glitch. That's a bug, and he's genuinely sad about it. I tried to prevent this fixed event because like the dragons were moving in like a set pattern at the start, so he's like, oh, just stay back, and that dragon will go straight that way. I was like, oh, that one's caught in a rock. I better write that one down. It evolves into a bigger dragon. He's like, all right, so I'm just gonna like. His plan is, and the villagers are just like, what a boring hero. It's just like he shoots an arrow at the dragon. The dragon's like, oh, I'm gonna get you. He throws a barrel. The dragon's like, oh, an explosion. And then he shoots another arrow at the dragon. He's got just a pile of arrows and fucking explosive barrels. That he's just like, I'm just gonna do this until I chip it away. Like that's his essential plan. And the villager kind of eventually going like, we'll help. Come on, we'll save the day. We'll save ourselves. And then they all combust anyway. He's like, sorry, trapped in the virtual world. This is a fixed event. It's obviously a bug because I did prevent the dragon from burning the village, and you guys are spontaneously combusting. If only I could escape from this virtual reality. I've found
seen you die how many times?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we get a flashback of what the rest of his team appear to have either died or disappeared, perhaps because they're not taking this seriously.
I assume the guy who refused to like go into like the developer mode, like immediately went flying around as soon as he got in. It's just like, no, you can't use the fucking
debug mode. Stop using the
debug mode.
Yeah. Now I will say it's not a bad show. It's just not my cup of tea.
The pace is so fucking slow of it, and like it nearly needs to lean into its jokes a little more. Like the idea that this big burly guy who looks like an adventurer and is an incredibly boring man.
I don't know. I don't know. It's necessarily trying to be kind of just funny with that, light maybe, but not necessarily funny. I think it's
yeah.
It's definitely more going like, you know, somebody the other way. So I've been killed in my fucking regular shitty life. I've been reincarnated in a fantasy world with chicks and dragons and magic. But it's actually much more. No, it's actually a curse. You're gonna miss like not being able to go back to upstairs place with central heating and plumbing and everything.
Yeah, I think that the other issue is that there's three things we'll talk about next week, which are so much better than this.
That's the thing up for the chop.
It's a fine time thing. Because I was actually like, you know, liking how it's like a fantasy world. It has like a unique fucking style to it. Those dragons are weird, and then like they're fucking when they're like, I don't know, molting or something like that. It's an even weirder face underneath
like the skin peeling, the big dumb frog dragon, and the skin peeling back from that, but not entirely, which makes it worse. And I was just like, yeah, that's pretty good.
I like your main dude. Is you go ahead.
So, and I liked it better than when I read the first chapter of the manga a year or so ago, which was free. I think this is better than the original version in terms of liveliness. But yeah, unfortunately, I've watched three other things which are a lot better.
Yeah.
That'll
That's
happen.
what, that's what I say. I like the man Hangout design. He's kind of like a fantasy rugby player.
Yeah. Yeah, initially seen, I was like, is that guy supposed to be like a fantasy dwarf kind of thing? No, he's just
Yeah.
a big,
No,
very
he
wide
puts
man.
he puts on his little glasses. He's sending his fucking bug reports to I don't know somebody who might even be listening anymore. If he's like, maybe if I keep doing this, if I keep doing this every day, something will happen. Yep, I'm not crazy. Not
If I
crazy
send
at
all
all.
the bug
Nope,
reports,
nope,
presumably they'll fix
nope.
the bug that will that's keeping me trapped here or something. Is what I
Yeah.
assume
Yeah,
he
I like
thinks, yeah.
that. I like the visual clue that the stone tablets he writes on look like tablets from our world that are electronic.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
design stuff that works really good in it. It is by no means a bad show. That's the thing. It's just
No.
like, but it's not good enough for us. Is basically I think is what the.
I wouldn't say it's good enough for
Well,
us. It's just
It's not good enough in comparison to
No,
other fucking
I
things.
would say
it's
one of
just
those.
you can't have a new Kanika Man thing come out, in the same series and expect me to fucking to have to choose between these two fun things. So sorry, fellas, Kanika Man, he's just coming in here. He's a returning champ. I'll come
And
get
also-
back to you. This guy whenever I have a chance,
They've
maybe.
got Obari as the action supervisor.
And he's the kind of man for that. He's having a bit of a fun of a moment again. I'm kind of happy for him.
Yeah. Also, this will give you time to actually hop on to Sengoku Yoku, hopefully. Yeah. So that's it for next week. Next week we've got Elusive Samurai.
Yeah.
Kiku Man Perfect Origin.
Yep.
Mayonaka Punch.
Haven't got onto that yet, but okay, sure.
Oh, it's very good.
I
that's
want it
it.
to be good because that's a YouTuber one, right?
Yeah.
It is, yes.
But I'm not like I watch a bunch of YouTubers. We technically do a bunch of YouTubing, but it's kind of like the thing
we're
of
not YouTubers though.
I mean, we're on fucking YouTube. Like that's
But no,
not
these
close.
are
It's not the
YouTubers.
same fucking
These are-
thing.
But we're not going, what up, guys? Visit our channel,
No.
going to live. Any questions out
Hey
there in
guys,
the
like
chat?
and subscribe. You'll never hear me say that sincerely. I hope.
Check
but
it out,
that's
lads, for
just
fun
me.
podcasts about anime at the fucking Hoover Dam. Oh shit!
Like I'm not saying I am in no way interested in YouTubing is what I'm trying to say, like, or YouTubers or that kind of thing. But like if you can sell me on that as a way of presenting it, and I think that's what it's going to be able to do is the thing. Yeah.
Well, wait and see and watch it. I will say, as I was watching it, I realised the things it's alluding to, I only know through other parodies, and I realised I am turning into the Boss Baby meme in flesh. I'm getting a lot of Boss Baby vibes from watching this cartoon.
I'm fine with fucking that. I'm fine with like being out of the fucking loop. Like that's what I'm looking forward to with it, and I'm hoping it can achieve at least some.
A lot of these like things are about fucking sports anime, a fucking cooking anime. They're all about fun demonstrating a hobby or a passion or enthusiasm for that. So if I'm saying demonstrate this enthusiasm to me, why is it so good?
You've not seen how horrible all the characters are in this cartoon yet.
I'm fine with that too. That's grand. I'm fine with it.
I'm really not sure it's going to give you any sort of honest enthusiasm about YouTubing.
I wasn't expecting
I'm
it
fine with an honest one. I'm fine with a sarcastic one. I'm fine with it because it's basically it's a subject that I don't really consider. Like that's what I'm looking forward to.
The vision to have for my phone saying YouTubers as animated or fucking manacos. It probably just be doing fun, some just fun insane shit to get fun YouTube views. That's going to be kind of thing. It's like I gotta get rich quick, get views quick scheme for us right cooked up right now, gal. Just get down to it. That's the kind of Ed and Eddie kind of fucking job to it, I think.
Exactly. There's multiple ways they could do that I would be entertained by. That's what I'm saying. I don't I have expectations, but like any one of the contrasting fucking expectations I have, as long as any of that's fulfilled, I'll have a good time, basically.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else that people have said is good. Oh, there is. That's Sakuna of Rice and Ruin from this week. One of the other two PA Works shows. I think that one's supposed to be good, but not so much the cheerleading one.
Cheerleading one is fine. It's just like it's obviously an idol show with cheerleader fucking skin on it. So that's what it is. Was there anything else? I'm
fascinated to check out the Tower of God thing because that sounds awful, but I kind of want to like have a look.
It's been the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like a reboot Tower of God.
There's also the Dear Friend Nokutan. If
Oh,
get an
yeah,
actual
sorry.
translation
I forgot
of
to
it.
mention that. So in which case there was 4 shows that yes, Dear Friend Nokatan is fine. You find what ignore
Yeah.
what people are getting in a tizzy about the going, it's an AI translation. I think it's a QA issue rather than
I
an
thought it was
AI
a
issue.
shoddy rather than
Yeah,
that
you'll
thing.
get that.
I would say its typesetting is more the problem.
Right.
There's a particular joke which made me think it's not AI because it relies on what's not being said and it
Context.
works. Yeah, it's a Detective Conan joke. It's where somebody's saying Conan and then cuts themselves off, and in the subtitles, we should get hold of Detective Cut. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's not a machine translated joke. That's a human being has had to watch and listen to that.
Oh, I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder how much as well if the dampening of enthusiasm was people getting subjugated to the memory too much.
Yeah.
So now they're already tired of it when they come to it eventually.
I don't know. Anybody who doesn't like it is wrong. I thought it was great.
Listen, opinion subjective.
Yes.
Everyone has got their own thing
No,
and their likes and dislikes, but
don't
you're
listen
wrong, actually.
Yeah, don't listen to those miserable humorless skits on Anime News Network who don't like any comedy.
It is a bit like, you trying to tell me this cartoon is unrealistic? My favorite refrain when it comes to like to shutting down that kind of fucking thing. Speaking as a teacher, this wouldn't actually happen in school. Fun saying, of course it fucking wouldn't. The kids are vampires.
I watched a Raw and I was laughing at some of the visual jokes on the Raw, and they just got better once there was actually a translation. Now I really liked it. Yes, I should have said 4 when I was saying 3 all the time doing this episode. I should have said 4. Yes, because my dear friend Nokatan, also a big thumbs up from me. So yeah, sorry, QA hit another world. I just
I feel like I've ragged on it too much. It's not. It isn't by no means bad. It's just there are other things that like take precedence. Like if we watched fucking every anime every fucking season, we wouldn't shut the fuck up. It would take too goddamn fucking long.
No, I mean I was tempted by that because I didn't because it's a light novel, but I did watch the opening to that Osan newbie adventurer trained to death by the most powerful party became invincible. It has the vibe of a 90s light novel fantasy.
Okay.
In that the party is made up of such weirdly diverse types. So there is it a dark elf maid? A like.
Wait, did you say maid or mage?
Maid.
Okay.
Mage.
A sort of a big Oddy ogre guy, a little sort of devil woman, our hero, and a guy in a hoodie riding a moped.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Moped common.
And the opening has the main character singing the theme song, and I was tempted by it because it did kind of give me like Satoru Akahori vibes in terms of like the weird makeup of the adventuring party. But I reminded myself it's a light novel, and I don't have all the time in the world to do that sort of nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm going to write about rabbits. God damn it, there's so many rabbit fables. Yeah, and they just keep adding
to it.
Yes, and so many of them are just the hair of the tortoise, but with this time it's got 2 hairs. This time there's an owl.
Whoa! Third faction coming in.
There's also so many fables where it's like, and that's how the rabbit got his red eyes.
Because he's evil. Yeah, the blood.
And they made anime of so many of them. I know why I picked it because they're doing a Alice in Wonderland theme for this convention. That's why I picked that as the topic.
You probably could have just done White Rabbits from Alice in Wonderland. You would have been fucking filled with shit.
That was my first inclination, was just to do Alice in Wonderland anime, and then I looked at the Alice in Wonderland anime, and I said, I don't want to spend an hour talking about these.
Very repetitive. Very repetitive. And half of them would be about Alice, and the harem is a pretty Alice in Wonderland boys, a sexy Mad Hatter, sexy rabbit, sexy everybody,
sexy March Hare, yeah.
But then you
Um,
would have got to do the anime within Train to the End of the World that is like an Alice in Wonderland type situation. Although, does that have a rabbit? I think that actually eschews the rabbit. Yeah. Anyway.
yeah.
Good question.
Uh,
Must have been a rabbit at the very first start, but that doesn't really count towards
Mhm.
the motif he keeps returning to.
yeah, I've tried to like. Is the rabbit a main character? Does the rabbit appear on the poster? That's my way of
How important is the rabbit to
reducing
the? Yeah,
things
yeah,
down. Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, come to KittyCon. There's still tickets on sale to 2 more days.
Right now.
But probably by the time I've uploaded this video, they'll have all gone. Uh,
Well, there's a deadline for registering
was a
for it,
deadline.
but you do have time.
Mm-mm.
Righty-ho. That's it for now, though. Loads more stuff next week.
Oh yes.
I'll be so enthusiastic about so many things.
Mm.
I'm bursting at the seams with enthusiasm already. So for now.
Katie does see it in his face. Goodbye.